How do you know if this is a genuine Silver Britannia coin? There are, of course, a whole host of tests that one can do to test the purity of the silver, but the thing that the Royal Mint has constantly told us is that their security features with the little hologram microtext, lots of different patterns on the coin, make this the most secure coin in the world. Well, what if I told you that all of that security has now been completely made, not redundant, but we have to trust but verify. We have to make sure that what we are getting is genuine, because the very systems and measures that the Royal Mint put in place to protect against counterfeits were completely undermined by their own manufacturing processes when they created a perfect fake, an absolute perfect fake, we'll add, because this is not a Silver Britannia. However, it has every single security feature that the Royal Mint claim make this uncounterfeitable as a coin. Yet they did it. This is the holy grail of mint era coins. This is the MS69 cupra nickel, not silver, Silver Britannia. And you can see why this is such a big deal. And it's the coin that the Royal Mint really would wish that we don't talk about anymore. But this is a hot coin. This is big news. And mint era of the year, decade, I'd argue century, perhaps even all time, because they build this coin as one of the most secure coins in the world, and then they drop the ball massively, which is pretty crazy, really. So this is the Holy Grail, and it's up for auction right now on eBay. So go and check out my eBay listing. There is a link in the description box below. Full transparency. It's not my coin. I'm selling this on behalf of a third party. We're doing a consignment auction. So I'm keeping mine. I'm going to talk a little bit about the errors, why I'm keeping mine over the long term, why the flipping market is doing what it does best, and a little bit more about the coins and the errors. I'm sure the Royal Mint would love it for me to stop talking about these, but they're news. And actually there is a little bit of a positive spin to put on this for the Royal Mint. So links in the description box below to the eBay listing. I'll also put a link to Chard's website, and of course their video when they published and found out about these errors, how that happened, because it's quite the story. And if you've been living under a rock and haven't seen all of that, it's well worth looking at. So happy bidding if you're going to bid. We are globally shipping this coin. It's a global auction under the global shipping program, so you can get this whether you're in the US, Canada, Australia, Japan, wherever you might be in the world. It's very exciting. So happy bidding. Now, this error is pretty damn special, which is why I'm keeping mine. Now, to reiterate, this is not my coin. There'll be countless comments down below going, you've sold out, you're now selling the coin, it's yours, or blah, blah, blah. It's not mine. You can check the serial number. Mine is very much still with NGC, actually, of all places, an annoyance, because they put the wrong label on it. They didn't put the words mint error on it. I've now got that hopefully corrected, and I should get it back in the next couple of months. But I'm keeping it, because I think that this is a really incredible specimen for a long-term hold. For the reasons I said at the beginning of the video, because the Royal Mint really did shoot themselves in the foot quite spectacularly when they let this one slip out of their facility. Now look, we're all human. Processes are run by humans. Processes can be mismanaged by humans. Mistakes can be made by humans in any manufacturing process. But you should have significant checks and balances in place to ensure that when one person makes a mistake, the errors are caught. That didn't happen with the Royal Mint. There are a whole host of different speculations about how and why this happened, and I'm not really going to go into too much detail on them because I don't think we'll actually truly ever quite know, but I think we can know with pretty much a degree of certainty that the checks and balances that the Royal Mint have put in place, hopefully now, will not let this happen again, because the Royal Mint really have had quite a significant amount of egg on their face about this, because it's called into question everything that they've done about validity, about testing, about making sure that what you've got is what... I mean, quite frankly, I'd love to find a tube of these error coins. It would somewhat shoot the market in the foot for the current error batch, but you know, the Royal Mint have struggled and suffered with this, and they don't want it to happen again. Because testing and making sure that what you've got is genuine is super important. And to that end, a quick note from today's video sponsor, Trusty Metrics.
We are very proudly sponsored by Trusty Metrics, who are the UK's exclusive supplier of the Sigma precious metal testing machines. They are fantastic bits of kit, worth their weight in gold in my opinion. They've helped me grow my business and my stack and have that peace of mind that all the gold and silver that I own and that I buy is indeed real gold and silver. Something that if you're a business is imperative, but if you're a stacker, that peace of mind, as I said, is worth its weight in gold. Now, Trusty Metrics are a fantastic organisation, a small family-run business that provides customer service second to none. And I have first-hand experience of getting their technical help and expertise when I've been trying to test big chunky bars of silver like this, or just getting to grips with how the machines run. They are always there. I mean, they've been fantastic for me, even on weekends, to get prompt answers for just simple queries. They are a non-pushy organisation, and they have and continue to work with businesses and investors to make sure that the machines that they get are right for them. So if you're interested, you can go and see their website with the full range of machines that they have on offer. And if you're interested, reach out to them and tell them that Backyard Bullion sent you their way. Thank you once again to Trusty Metrics for sponsoring our channel. And now back on with our precious metal ramble.
So making sure, of course, that what you've got is actually genuine is really important. That's why graded coins are a really good example. And certainly from a error coin perspective, having these validated and graded, encapsulated, protected is really, really important. It's why I sent the 2 raw ones that I bought from Chards straight off to NGC when I got them. Kind of sort of wish I'd just bought the 69 grade coin from Chards directly. Arguably, I've saved some money because they sold them for £1,000, give or take. So I saved in that sense and earned a little bit of a windfall from that perspective. But still, it's really annoying because I had them in with NGC like 4 months ago. They put the wrong label on, and then you have to send them back to NGC in America, and that takes another like 3 months to get sorted. So it's going to be about 5 or 6 months before I actually get these coins in my hand. But that's not a massive problem for me because I'm holding these for the long term. I think these are, as I said, one of the most incredible errors out there. And with some perspective, there are believed to only be 209. Now, we can only say we can believe because whilst the Royal Mint have confirmed that 209 of them left the facility, went to Shards, and there was another batch found with the Royal Mint in their storage that have been destroyed, that's what they've told us, you can never be 100%. I think we can take the Royal Mint on pretty much a good sort of standing that they've done some due diligence here, because the last thing they want is to say, that's it. That's the finite number that there are no others out there, and then for someone else to find one, that would be like, so there's failure of quality to check this happen, failure of processes to let it go out of the door in the first place, and then there's a failure of investigation if that happens, and I just don't think that is a likely scenario. So I do genuinely think this is it. There are 209 of these, and for only 209 of these to exist, with a population currently of only 10 of the 69 graded versions, this is super rare. This is not just your run-of-the-mill, proof coin, error coin. That's, we've seen error coins have thousands in mintage and go on to do very, very well over a long period of time. Now, the market for this is an interesting one. So I'm going to address a little bit of an elephant in the room / some of the trolls in the room, because believe it or not, hey, shock horror, I get trolled on the internet sometimes by, what are we at, 8 minutes into a video, I can swear, by arseholes, quite frankly, on the internet. So we took a consignment sale on, I can't remember what it was now, 2 months ago, month ago, whenever it was, we did the first one, when they were released, when the raw coins were released. I had no idea what was going to happen with that auction. We'd had two sales prior to that had happened. One went for $490, one went for $550. And I said to the seller, look, I think we can probably get you about $650 max, because we're going to open this up globally. None of the other ones have gone globally. And it just went out of control massively. Idiots on the internet then start saying that I'm deliberately causing hype, I'm deliberately causing hysteria. We then take a few more items on consignment, prices continue to go up. And that's simple market economics. It's nothing to do with hype. It's nothing to do with me taking advantage of people. I've been doing this 10 years. I don't need to do that. What the heck? I mean, it's just so funny. And with trolls on the internet, I've learned long time ago that it's often best not to engage with them. There's a great song by Professor Elemental, "Do not feed the trolls," boom, boom. It's a great song. Just YouTube search, Do Not Feed the Trolls. Watch that video, smile all the way through. They're probably still, well, I can't remember the best phrase, isn't it? They're sad and alone and probably still live at home with their mum in the basement or something. You know, trolls are trolls, and it's sometimes very hard on the internet to avoid them. But the fact that some people would, criticize me for helping people get prices on these is hilarious. You know, we've done this many times before with the Buyers Club. We've taken things on consignment, and I've now got this one on consignment, and that's going to get what it gets. You know, I'm going to sit here and tell you that the auction is live. And if somebody wants an MS69 coin, then you can go and bid on it. You know, that is what it is. Full transparency, I get a little bit of commission when we sell it. But let's be frank, if it goes for £2,000 or £4,000, it won't make a snot difference to whether I can retire at the age of 50 or not. I'm not exactly going to make £1 million out of this, so I don't really care. It's just what it is. And you know, people will bid for it, people won't bid for it. I still think this is a great coin, and I think this is something that I'm going to be holding on to, not this one, because it's not mine, despite the conspiracy theorist idiot trolls that will be out there. Will be this coin in my stack for a very long time. I think this is, quite honestly, and I'm not trying to create hype and hysteria here, I'm not trying to sell you this coin, but I think this coin is going to be worth quite a lot of money in the long run. I think when all of the flippers are done flipping, and look, you know, we've had coins sell at £4,000 for rare. If I was a flipper, if I really wanted to take advantage of this market, I'd flip my coins. I mean, I don't have them in my possession, but I'd flip them for £4,000 a coin, I'd move on. But I don't. I think there's more room in the future for that. No way am I saying you should buy this for £4,000 because it's going to go up in price. Could go down in price. Will I feel pretty bad if I take this coin, my 69 grade coin, let's say this one gets £4,000. I don't know if it will. It's who knows. We've seen other graded ones get about 3,000, but this is the first one that's coming up for sort of global public auction at the MS69 grade. There was one actually on the Silver forum that sold for 4,600 in a grade 69. That was a charity auction. So it's a difficult one to really kind of have as a reference sale, because if it's a charity auction, there's often a little bit more emphasis on people wanting to bid, because, you know, you'll get a better outcome for everyone involved. So who knows where the final price will this be? But from my perspective, I think this is a long-term hold for me. I enjoy it. Flippers be flipping, that's fine, absolutely fine. But there are a lot of people trying to flip it right now because, well, quite frankly, because we set the market. You know, this is testament to how amazing this error is and to how desirable this error is, that people are willing to pay big money for these coins. And that can't be ignored. You know, simple market economics. But if there are 15 of these coins up for sale and everybody's trying to compete with themselves for getting that quick turnaround profit, then, you know, it's going to be tough. But in a year's time, when there aren't any of these for sale, I can see them getting a lot more, because word will spread. There are still people around there in this world that don't know about this. And this news hasn't spread around the world yet. People know about it, but not everyone knows about it. Not all collectors know about it. You know, it was big news when it happened, but bless the Royal Mint, they've swept it under the rug as best they can. And mainstream news doesn't want to take this on. And in fact, there are a lot of different coin-related stuff that you always see on local news stuff where it says, rare 50p sells for £10,000. Well, no, it hasn't. Someone's just listed a random 50p coin on eBay for £10,000 as a buy it now price. Doesn't mean it's sold for that much. In fact, there was a joke on the Silver forum that we should list one of these coins up on eBay for £100,000, see if we can catch the headline of any of these stupid little local news media outlets. Sorry to anybody there, but it's a stupid article to write something. You know, I could put anything. I could put like this plastic bag. I've put this up for 20,000. Rare plastic bag put up for sale for £20,000 on eBay. Search your plastic bags today to find out if you've got a rare. I mean, what the. It's so stupid, isn't it? But if you've got a genuine mint error coin that's happened like this because there was a serious failure in one step of the process, whether it be a human deliberate error or a human, unjustified error. What's the word? Uncontrollable error, human error. That's what I wasn't trying to say. This is news, and it's also news that people should check because these came out as sealed products. It's not like this is a coin that's in circulation that people just happened upon. This is something that was sealed, and it's only down to Chard's absolutely incredible work ethos and stringent checks and measures that they put in place on all incoming goods that they were even found in the first place. Now, lots of the big dealers out there have the same checks and measures in place, and you would imagine that a lot of these dealers would have found them, which is again testament to the fact that none others have been found in the big mainstream, that this was now a contained, isolated incident. But at the time, we didn't know that. And also, we can't ignore the fact that there are potentially not others out there, because the Royal Mint has not been able to confirm definitively whether that is the case. They were very cagey with their wording when we were approaching the press office to say, can you confirm if there are none others out there? And they said it was an isolated production incident and we've identified these 209 plus others. They did not categorically state, and I pushed them for it, they could not categorically state there were no others in existence, which is pretty important. So as this news grows, as this coin starts to go through bigger mainstream stuff, at the moment, look, the vast majority have been sold on eBay. There's been probably some on private sales through Facebook, Place, whatever it is called. And there's been probably quite a few on, I say quite a few, there's been a few on other social medias. There's been one or two, I think, on various different social media platforms, but the majority have been on eBay. Oh, I was going to say one or two on Coins of the Realm auction house. So as and when more get to the mainstream auctions, I can imagine these being put into other auction houses like Sovereign Rarities at some point, or even, do you know what the irony would be if one of these coins ends up in one of the official Royal Mint auctions? That would be, I would love that. I would consign one of those just to see the look on the Royal Mint auctioneer's face when that comes up on the docket. That would be so funny. But yeah, as that grows, as more awareness grows for these coins, the market will become a little bit more interested in them. And when there are fewer for sale and there's more interest, supply, demand, if the demand's high and the supply is low, the price goes up. It's pretty simple. And that's how I see it for the long term. So yeah, there we go. That's a good old ramble on this coin, isn't it? If you want to bid on it, links in the description box below. Even if you don't want to bid on it, share it around on social media and let people know about this error. The Royal Mint will hate you for it, but they can't do anything about it because the genie's out of the bottle, the coin's out of the production facility, and you know, it is what it is. So there we go. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to check out Trusty Metrics, our sponsor. They're an incredible company. Also Chards, really great bullion dealer, one of the best, if not the best, in the UK. And a personal shout out to Lawrence, always a good long-term, I count him as a friend and confidant, fantastic chap, great at business, great at what he does. Okay, that's us. Cool kids, what are we going to do? Look, we have a serial number, and it's a very special serial number because it's the NGC serial number. So it's a long one. Are you ready? For those that listen and don't watch, your Cool Kids Club phrase is 846-7231-042. If you say that, I will know you are cool. I'll see you on the next video. As always, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.